What's up, everybody? And just like that, I'm back. And you know it's intro time, so she's back too.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
So there's no better way to come off of a hiatus than with Chad's perspectives. Now, this perspective is something I've been thinking about, and it's something that I wanted to touch base on, and hopefully it would help some of the people in the community who I feel may or may not be underrepresented. I actually think they kind of are. So these perspectives are going to cover how low spenders can still win at the points and miles game. So perspective number one, you have to use card systems, trifectas, bifectas, superfectas. I don't care what it is, but you have to come up with a system in order to optimize your every dollar that you spend. You're already a low spender and you're trying to compete with people who use credit cards for everything, all sorts of consumption and conspicuous consumption. But if you're a little tighter with your purse strings, it doesn't mean that you can't get a return on every dollar that you spend, but you have to use systems and you have to use them smartly in order to make sure that you don't spend a dollar that you don't get a return on. It's okay to get a $95 Chase trifecta. Who knows, even as a small spender, and we're going to get into some of this later, you may want to get an even more expensive card system. You can hybridize card systems. In addition to that, there is a plethora of catch-all, no annual fee cards out there that you can actually interlace to earn yourself some pretty decent points on everyday purchases, and it may work out well for you. So remember, if you are a low spender, you definitely don't want to try to do this with one card. You want to employ a system. You never want a single one of your very tightly stretched dollars to leave your pocket without bringing back some sort of return, period, point blank. And obviously, we're looking for more than 1x, but even 1x is better than nothing. Perspective number two, if you are a low spender, being a low spender means that winning at the points and miles game or even participating by virtue of your spend alone is going to make it harder for you than someone with moderate to high spend. That's it. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just how the game is played. That's simply how it works. Now, you can offset that with the subs that you get from cards that you're going to pick up, because your sign-up bonuses are going to give you the best return on spend on average over the life of your card, period, unless you're a high spender. That's how credit cards work. That's how charge cards work. That's how multiplier cards work. So the fact with you potentially being a low spender, you're simply not going to generate the spend to keep up with other people who are more, as I said in the last perspective, conspicuous consumers. So this is something that you have to come to grips with. So I know it's great to see the redemptions of people such as myself or of Luke or JP of JP Knowledge. That's great to look at. But if you do not have the spend to generate the kind of points bank that you are going to need to make redemptions or even get decent cash back to put a dent in one of your credit cards or even some of the spend from multiple credit cards that you may have, you got to understand that those are the breaks. Doesn't mean you can't participate. You're just kind of fighting an uphill battle. And there's a little grease on the hill. And someone might push you down the hill. And maybe they'll pour a little grease on the hill. Well, you know where I'm going with this. But look, you can still do it, but you have to understand it's just going to be harder than somebody who spends more than you. Perspective number three, annual fee cards may actually be more beneficial to you than you think. I know you're watching this video if you're still here. If you're still watching this video, you're thinking to yourself, well, if I'm a low spender, why would I want an annual fee card? I'm spending money to hold a credit card. Sounds kind of counterintuitive. But alas, like I said, annual fee cards and some no annual fee cards, the market for them is so competitive that they may offer services that you otherwise would have used that may actually give you a better return packaged in an annual fee than if you paid for them separately. You know, as an example, you have cards that give you a discount on Disney. If you already have Disney and you don't want an American Express card for $6.95 that will give it to you for free, You can get a card like the Blue Cash Preferred that has a credit for Disney every month, thereby giving you a return on a service that you're using anyway. That's just an example. It's kind of a little hairy, but it's one that I'm going to use right now. So even if you are a low spender, there are cards with $95 or even $150 annual fees, like the Amex Green card, which I discussed with Sledge and the community on a live, that it is one of the best travel cards that, if not the best travel card that American Express has. Shout out to JP Buffett. But that's what it is. Like, I just don't even know how to say it any better. But the fact is that even as a low spender, some annual fee cards can provide you with ancillary services that you otherwise would use, thereby saving you money. And remember, when you pay with the card, you also get the points for paying for those services, which they then later credit. They credit the bill. They do not claw back the points. So you're winning kind of hand over fist there. So definitely that's something you want to keep an eye on. Obviously, you want to be judicious in the annual fee cards that you get because you don't want there to be diminishing returns, but there are some annual fee cards, depending on your specific situation, that may actually be a boon to you and cause you to expend less money over the course of a year for one single membership. Perspective 4. Let's talk no annual fee catch-alls. I'm pretty sure somebody was waiting on me to mention those. You figure if I just get a no annual fee catch-all like a Wells Fargo Active Cash or some other card like the Signature Rewards, Fidelity Visa, I'll just get 2x on everything and then I can participate. Wrong. That is a trap. It's just a trap. Because if you start collecting catch-all cards like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, like the Active Cash, and so on and so forth, what happens is, all you're doing is just collecting ecosystems, but your return rates, while the basement may be at 1.5 or 2, so too is the ceiling. So I would probably warn against getting a bunch of catch-all cards because it's a trap that you can fall into. And while yes, they do not have any annual fees, you can actually stunt your points growth because you will miss out on multiplier categories that otherwise can be very useful to you, like grocery with the Saver One, like gas with the Wells Fargo Autograph, like travel and transit with the Amex Green. These are definitely things that you want to consider. So I would definitely suggest do not fall into the trap of gathering a bunch of catch-all cards because they're no annual fee. The minute you get more than 3, you've collected ecosystems and you've not made a single significant dent in any of them. So we all know what time it is, and it's time for the YouTube perspective. And my YouTube perspective is actually a very simple one. Rewatchability is always more profitable than being clickbaity. I can tell you right now, if you are trying to improve your content, if you have something and you notice trends that people watch more so than others, make sure you make videos that you would deem rewatchable, aka evergreen content. These videos will be ultimately more profitable than trying to go out on the hairy edge or outdo this one or outdo that one or try to think of some wild angle. Now, mind you, while they are entertaining, that is not sustainable over the long haul, especially if this is a long-term hobby or if it is your full-time job. Rewatchability is the name of the game. You definitely want reference material because then you also build a reputation for putting out stuff that is not utter nonsense. It's okay if a couple of your videos are trash, but in the words of Sledge, you definitely don't want to put out a clickbaity video that, has a limited shelf life and ends up being trash. So that is it. That is my YouTube perspective. Definitely, you want to concentrate on making things that people don't mind watching over and over again. Pack as much information as you can. Definitely try to teach a lesson. Try to help people understand something that they did not understand before, and you will win at this thing. So that's it. Those are my perspectives. Quick and neatly packaged. Hopefully you enjoyed them. I'm telling you guys, life's just been lifing for me, so my releases have just not been where they were before. Please feel free, Check out this video of my last perspective where I actually canceled my membership because I want you guys to know that I value your time and your money just as much as you do. And until I can provide the value that I think you deserve from me, the memberships will stay canceled. I hope that people can appreciate that. And I know some people have already reached out to me, and I thank you so much for your support. And that is about it. As always, you see the fingers coming up and they're doing the pointy thing. And there it is. That's still a Chad Money Minutes thing. Even though I've seen them other places, and I have to say, people have done them well. But without further ado, take it easy.